Okay, here we've got 21B from the 1980s on an Empire Strikes Back card. It's got the Revenge offer, which is the offer for the free Admiral Akbar, and these cards came out in around 1982. It's a 48 back, and it has quite an interesting card back as well, because it's quite specific to this card, and some had a sticker on the back of it as well, and a sticker on the front. You can see there that's an actual imprint in the card, and it says free Revenge of the Jedi figure with 6 proofs of purchases, and you'd get Admiral Akbar. So he was the first figure you could get from the new film that was coming out the year later, and at the time it was called Revenge of the Jedi, and then they changed the name to Return of the Jedi. And so some people consider these cards to be a bit more collectible because it says Revenge of the Jedi. And then you've got the Revenge of the Jedi proof cards, which I've got 3 of them. I've got the Bespin Guard, white Bespin Guard and Revenge cards, Luke Hoth and Bosk the Bounty Hunter on Revenge cards, and those are true Revenge cards. This is just an offer, but you know, out of all my years of collecting, and it's almost, well, solid 19 years, I've only got 2 of these cards. So you know, I got one back in '93, a Cloud Car Pilot, and then finally 19 years later I got this one, Revenge of the Jedi. This wasn't that expensive, and it's really nice condition. It looks really pucker, and it's a overall grade 80, card 85, bubble 80, and figure 90. So the figure's in a really nice condition. Bubble's got a slight dent at the bottom there, and well, if I show you the back of the card now, I've got a lot to show today. So there you go, there's the Revenge card, and you can see how unique this card back looks compared to other vintage card backs, because it's bright blue, and instead of the usual black background with the yellow background for the actual figures. So that's your and you can see it says free Admiral Akbar, Revenge of the Jedi, and that's how you get that figure. And the closing date for that offer was January the 31st, 1983. Okay, I mean, I got the free Admiral Akbar. I got that figure for free as well back in the UK, so we would have had the same offer on Palitoy cards. So okay, and I think maybe a lot of people had these cards, and because it says Revenge of the Jedi, they think that there was actual card backs that had Revenge of the Jedi because it says it there. I'm sure I had one of these back in the day, and in my mind I always thought that I had a Revenge of the Jedi card, but on the front it would have said Empire Strikes Back. Really nice card, really nice figure. Never had this one when I was a kid. Had FX7 but never 21B. Great figure. You can really see, comes only been updated in Power of the Force 2, so this is a figure that probably needs an update, but for the time this is a really good figure. You can see his belly's clear or transparent plastic, but it's not a bad figure for its time. So there's 21B with a Revenge offer on it, Empire Strikes Back 48 back. This is the C card. So these were the last of the Empire Strikes Back cards. Then it went to Return of the Jedi 48 backs, and in the UK with Return of the Jedi 45 backs. Okay. Okay, here we've got a sand people or sand person on on an Empire Strikes Back 41 back E-card. So this is the same card as the Greedo I've done uploaded recently. So this is an easy, quite a common card to come across on Empire Strikes Back, the 41 backs, and it's Canon 1980 Star Wars, graded 80 with card 80, bubble 85, figure 80. The figure has some cape discolorment, which is common on this figure, that the cape does discolor, because I've got a 20 back Sam person on a Star Wars card, and he's got a bit of cape discolorment. But it's still a wicked item. It's the card back just looks amazing, that picture. The same image they had on the 12 back and 20 back cards, and so it's a cheaper way of acquiring this figure. And unpunched, quite a nice looking card. Figure looks nice, the bubble's clear, or pretty clear, looks very clear actually, and you know, the figure's one of the original 12s. It's a classic figure, and if we turn it around we can see the 41 back E card, and you can see that it's got blue background. It lists all 41 figures available at the time, plus a few accessories at the back, and this is a US card. So 41 backs, you can get them they're quite common, Palatoy versions and Canadian and other such cards, but mainly the US ones are the ones you come across the most. You can see on the side, just at the bottom, well, I'll show you the discolorment closer up there. It's at the bottom of the cape. I don't know if you can really pick it out, and it's on the bottom of the cape that side as well. It comes with a gaffy stick, classic figure. A sand person. It's just been reissued by what is it, Gentle Giant, as a jumbo 12-inch figure. And then you've got this. I'd rather have this one. It's more or less the same price as well, graded, so you can't complain. So you've got the sand person, one of the original 12. Great figure, classic from the long. I've got a Jawa on Empire Strikes Back card that's already up, so now I've got the Sand person on the Empire Strikes Back card. So one of the best figures out of the vintage line, just because it's so classic. I mean, in terms of sculpting it's not the best, but I mean it's just, you know, for in terms of my own personal, because I had the Sand person a couple of times. I remember I stuck one in the fridge and its head came off, so or the freezer. But this is a classic figure, and the image looks great. You can get this on the 2006 or 2007 VOTC or Saga card, whatever, just with the same card back with the Star Wars logo with the updated figure. But this is the original on an Empire Strikes Back 41 back card. So there you go. Okay, here we've got R2-D2 first version on a 12 back C card from 1978. It's a US card, Kenner, and this is the solid dome R2-D2. So throughout the vintage line there was 3 versions of R2-D2. This is the original, the most desired. It's the solid dome. Then you had the center scope version, which is the least desired, and then the Power of the Force pop-up lightsaber version, which is, after this version, the second most desired. This is the first image it had on this card, and then when they moved to the center scope version they changed the image, and that was on the Empire Strikes Back cards. So R2 was quite easy to find back in the, say, 10-15 years ago. It's getting a bit more pricey these days, and you know, 12 backs are just getting a bit hot at the moment, especially the Luke Skywalker and the Darth Vader, the Han Solos, but even the R2-D2 is bringing in quite a lot of money these days. Probably the easiest one to find is C-3PO, maybe the cloth cape Jawa, Death Squad Commander maybe as well. There's two versions of the R2. There's this one with the sort of lighter blue tints to the helmet dome, and then there's one with a darker blue tone to it, and there's the darker blue one that's more, brings in a slightly more money. What else can I say? It has the Kenner LP on the at the logo just there. That means long play toy, and most likely to get this, you're going to get this on an Empire Strikes Back card, and it was only like towards the end of the Empire Strikes Back run that the they changed to the sensor scope R2D2. Very nice. Has its name written, spelt out, ARTOO, and then dash D2 DETTOO, and then so spelt phonetically, and then R2D2 in brackets. The right price area, which is you find on 12-back cards, and Luke and Leia holding the lightsaber there. So this is a really nice item. Card gets 80, bubble 80, figure 85. Overall it's an 80 near mint, and it's a C card. And then if you look at the 12-back at the back, you can see the original 12 figures painted. The lightsaber, because that tip's been extended there, that's why it's a C card. They've made it a bit longer. And you've got the offer there for the Action Collector's stand, and that ended May the 1st, 1979, and you've got just descriptions at the top of the original 12 figures, and you know, it says Jawa with shining eyes and laser gun, R2D2 with movable legs and head that clicks. So that was the feature of that figure back in the day. I mean, throughout the line, vintage line, all R2s, their heads clicked. I've got a nice R2 on a Glasslighty card, if you want to check that out. That's a Droids version, so that's from Brazil. I've got a really nice sensor scope R2D2 on a Return of Jedi, but it's card US 77 back, but it's good grades. It's 85, 85, 85. And that was very cheap. This one, not so cheap, as it's a 12 back. Nice condition, you know. The figure looks pretty white. The bubble is very clear. This whole thing just looks really nice. So you've got R2D2, the original R2D2. Let's see if I can show you the actual figure without it going out of focus. So that's the first edition of R2D2. It's a solid dome, and you can see he's got a little red eye as well as a bigger blue eye, and the sticker for the body. Classic figure. No third leg, but this is such a classic, and if you want one, you're going to pay big money for this nowadays. Get a Star Wars one on 12 back, 20 and 21 back, but they're all pretty much expensive these days. Most of these are in the US, so you know, probably cheaper if you get one in the UK, if you can. This image is classic. It appears on early Empire Strikes Back cards as well, that image. 32 backs, maybe early 41 backs as well, but then it switches to the sensor scope version. But this is one of the first. Nice figure. R2D2 12 back, and there's the back again. Sweet item, looks sweet, what can you say? The dog's bees, as they say. So time to say goodbye, beep doop, to R2D2. Cheers. Okay, here we've got a TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER, and I've been after this figure for, I've always wanted a TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER. I've only ever had one other SNOWTROOPER, and that's on a Palitoy card, and I bought that back in '93, really cheap one for about £7 back in those days. So that's those prices in them days, but now you're going to pay a lot more. This one comes up once or twice a year. There's another one on eBay now in the UK from the same seller. That's a AFA 75 as well. He says that one's slightly better condition. I mean, what's most special about this SNOWTROOPER, Laugh It Up Fuzzball should know, is that it's or AFA have deemed it the YPS SNOWTROOPER because of the sculpt of the body. It's kind of more, looks like it's cut out of a harder plastic than the earlier versions of the SNOWTROOPER. And if you notice, the legs are quite wide apart, and the actual cape is slightly different. It has, instead of slits where it attaches to the hooks on the side of his body, it has round holes. The YPS SNOWTROOPER is famous because that's a German comic that gave away a SNOWTROOPER with a sort of action force or machine gun, and that's known as the YPS SNOWTROOPER. It was a TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER just like this one, with the action force gun or the regular rifle there, and that figure is really hard to come by, and is one of the sort of collecting holy grails of vintage Star Wars, the YPS SNOWTROOPER. And it actually says on the AFA label there, it says 1983 Palitoy Star Wars TRILOGO Hoth SNOWTROOPER YPS. So this is the YPS body. This is a YPS SNOWTROOPER TRILOGO body. Also, if you notice just there where my thumb is, there's a round little sticker, and this means this version was sold in the Netherlands and Belgium, so it's a Clipper sticker there. And on the back it had the Clipper booklet, but someone ripped it off. You can see just that faint marks where the booklet was, but it's otherwise from that, I mean, it's not in bad condition, this card. And you can see where, so you've got the usual typical TRILOGO back, and then if you look to the front again, you can see the SNOWTROOPER, very white. And let's bring it closer so you can see, if I can show you if I had a regular SNOWTROOPER, you can compare the two. This one's totally different. If you go on just go Google YPS SNOWTROOPER and you can find out about it. So this is probably the first time it's been on YouTube, so this is going to be a first. The YPS SNOWTROOPER, one of the rare variations of this figure, and it looks best on the TRILOGO cards. It looks better than an Empire Strikes Back card, unless it was on like a foreign card. Then maybe like if it was on a French Meccano card, then that would look better, but otherwise this looks really nice. Card gets 75, bubble 75, figure 85, overall 75. Bubble's got quite a lot of dings at the top, which is typical of TRILOGO, and but you know, it looks really nice, this item. Looks sweet, man. You've got your YPS SNOWTROOPER, which was just the TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER given away with the comic in Germany, and the main variations on this figure are, as I've said, the cape has rounded holes rather than slits, and the actual sculpting of the figure is different, and the type of plastic used, and the sort of highlights and stuff like that. And I believe that the country of origin's been scraped away on the back leg of this figure as well, and the wide stance of the legs. If you look at the feet, you can see that the feet are quite far apart. So there's your YPS SNOWTROOPER. You can get this ungraded as well. If I was going to get one ungraded, I'd make sure it has the Action Force machine gun, because that looks pretty cool. So, but now I've got this version, I don't need to get the loose version. Okay, so this is your YPS SNOWTROOPER, or TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER, which is just the TRILOGO SNOWTROOPER. Very nice figure, looks really nice. Red background on the card and nice picture there. So 3 logos. Said this. Everyone knows TRILOGOs these days. Once the poor cousin of the other vintage lines, now people are realising how hard these are to find. So you know, there's a good website called TRILOGO Info. You check that out. That's got great stuff about missed cards and all the different TRILOGO cards you can get. Lots of variations on this line, and some really unique cards like the Luke Bespin. So TRILOGOs are, you know, really worth. Well, I'm just babbling now. Anyway, that's your YPS SNOWTROOPER. Nice figure. Looks great on this card. You know, look at the bubbles, still clear. Figure looks minty white, and you know, looks great with that little sticker in the top corner. So there you go, YPS Clipper Palatoy SNOWTROOPER. Sweet item. Okay, here we've got the Palatoy Stormtrooper I've reviewed quite recently, which is quite a defective figure because it's got lots of scars in its face and around the groin. So I called it the groin scarred Stormtrooper, and that's on a Palatoy card. That's that one there. I bought that just carded, ungraded, pretty cheap. So that's a typical Palatoy card. Doesn't have the logo there. Has the TRILOGO oversized bubble. If you notice the name Stormtroopers in black writing on the US card here, which is the one I want to show you, it has the name in white, and this is a graded Stormtrooper. Pretty cheap. It's cheap because it's on a 77 back, and that's why it's cheap, because Return of the Jedi 77 backs are the most common Star Wars vintage cards you can get. Nothing more common than that. So if you're after figures that aren't going to break the bank, go for your 77 backs on the US cards. You know, this is an 80 grade overall. Really nice item. The card is 80, bubbles 85, figures 85. So the Stormtroopers are virtually identical, except in that Palatoy one's got so many defects, and that's the one I call the groin scarred Stormtrooper. Okay, the arms and legs of the Stormtrooper are slightly tinged compared to the body, which happens with this figure. Figure's fine otherwise, 85. Bubble, I'm not sure if it's got a slight yellow tinge to it now. It looks fairly clear to me, but still, you know, it's a Kenner bubble, so what you're going to expect. Kenner and Power of the Force, Return of the Jedi cards and Power of the Force just prone to yellowing so badly. Whereas the Palatoy, because it's got an oversized TRILOGO bubbles, that's going to stay clear, like that SNOWTROOPER I just showed you on the YPS SNOWTROOPER. That bubble will stay clear because it's different type of plastic. Okay, here's the 77 back, showing you this back so many times. So if you want to ever get a vintage graded item and you want it cheap, go for the 77 back. This is the cheapest way to get a nice graded figure. And you know, that R2-D2 sensor scope, that was a 77 back, but the grades on that, all 85s, you know, I just went for it. It's a cheaper option, but you know, who cares? It's still from the 1980s. So this is your US card. And you notice the Stormtrooper name, as I've just said before, is in white lettering, whereas on the Palitoy card it's in black lettering. Palitoy card has no logo there, whereas this one has the Kenner logo. Here's the Palitoy back, which is a 65 back with the Chewbacca offer, and this is the 77 back with no offer. So this card would have come out a bit later, but you can, that's the difference. Both in English, you know. So, you know, Palitoy and Kenner. The Palitoy cards are quite, you know, certain Palitoy cards are quite easy to pick up. Certain Palitoy cards are more common than US cards, especially the SNOWTROOPER on Return of the Jedi card. So if you want to get a SNOWTROOPER, go for the Palitoy card. That's the cheapest way of getting that. So, you know, certain figures on Jedi Palitoy cards are very common. The Klaatu, the SNOWTROOPer, what else? I'm trying to think. Well, you just check on eBay and see what. If it's not a Kenner card, it's going to be a Palitoy. So here's your two Stormtroopers. Very nice. This is what I deemed the groin scarred Stormtrooper, and this is just a regular US Hong Kong made Stormtrooper on a 77 back A card. Really nice. Bought in America. It was from somewhere called Kiddieland for 99 cents, so it must have been on sale. So there's a price sticker in the top corner there, but you know, this looks really nice. Stormtrooper is a classic figure, one of the first 12, so you know, one of my favourites. I loved this one when I was a kid, so you know, nice item. Okay, so there's your Stormtrooper on a US 77 back. Really nice item, and on a nice 80 card with 285 subgrades, so that's really cool. And then the Palitoy with all the defects on it. So if you check my earlier review of that figure, I sort of, you know, call it the groin scar because there's a big scar on the groin just underneath that lump there. Don't know if the camera can pick it out, but on my other review of this figure it definitely picks it out. It's sealed in the box now, I'm not going to take it out again. So there's your Palitoy card and your US card. I've got a US 60 Han Solo and a Palitoy Han Solo reviewed from years ago, and they've got similar differences, the sort of lettering differences and no logo and all that sort of stuff, so that's worth checking up. Okay, but it's up to you which card you prefer. I mean, I probably prefer the Palitoy card if the Palitoy card was in better condition, you know, and the bubble wasn't so dented, you know. But, and that's the card I sort of sliced when I opened it as well at the back, or scored it, so I'm a bit peed off about that. But that's probably why I went after this one, because I really damaged that Stormtrooper. Okay, so you've got your Return of the Jedi US card and your Palitoy UK card, both from the 83-84, both very nice, both, you know, one of the original 12s. So I've shown you today the two Stormtroopers, the Sand Person and the R2-D2. All three of those figures are from the original 1978 release, so they're the original figures, plus the YPS SNOWTROOPER, very rare. And if my camera doesn't run out, I'm going to show you a loose figure now. Okay, so hold on, let's hope my camera doesn't run out. Okay, here is something nice. It's a prototype figure from 2002. It's EPHANT Man, and this is a massive figure. Even carded, this one's quite hard to find, and it's quite pricey as well. So EPHANT Man, this is an unpainted prototype. It has the date stamp on the bottom. It comes in about 3 main colours, 4 colours if you include the accessory. As you can see, the head's face isn't painted. That face is sort of a creamish colour, and then the hands are the same colour. Then the arms and the sort of overcoat or a cloak are a brown colour, and then the legs and the tail are a light sort of blue colour. And this is a really nice item, so you know, definitely a lot cheaper in the UK than in the US. So, because I checked on Brian's Toys how much these things go for, and the one he's got is much more expensive. So here's EPHANT Man. It's heavy to hold this figure. It just weighs a ton. This must be this and what's his name from 2007? Hermie Oddle. Is it Hermie Oddle? I think it's Hermie Oddle. Those two of them must be the biggest vintage modern Star Wars figures. I mean, the biggest out of the vintage line would have been Amana Man, I think so. And then, but this guy is just hefty. Okay, so great figure. His jaw moves up and down. Flyguy.net does a great review of this figure, so if you want to check that out, check that out. His hands twist a little bit. They're quite stiff. Arms move up and down. If you notice, the arms swivel quite close to the face. He comes to this sort of axe thing. He's one of Jabba's, I think he's the Jabba's chief of security. And you see this guy in Return of the Jedi. It's a great figure. I've got this one carded. Where you know, if you've ever held this figure, you can really see how much. This is a solid piece of plastic. The head rotates, but it's really stiff. But it does rotate there. The arms move, the legs move, but there's limited movement there. The feet have really nice detailing on that. There's a bluish tail, and you know, this is EPHANT Man. What a classic prototype. Huge figure. Weighs a ton. Hard to keep him upright as well, because he tends to lean forward. So, but even the regular figure of this is worth tracking down, because it's just such a hefty figure. And it's a classic figure. It's 10 years old now, this figure, and look at it. Just one of the best figures they ever released. EPHANT Man plus Hermie Oddle. These are two standout figures from 10 and 5 years ago, or thereabouts. Let's see if I can. This axe is in two pieces, and let me just take it out of his hand. Oh gosh. Okay, so the axe, or the vibro blade or whatever it is in two pieces. You can pull that piece out, and then you can push it back in. I don't know on the regular figure how this was painted, but it's quite a nice item. And then here's the figure, EPHANT Man. Keep your mouth's a bit kind of tends to droop open, but what a figure. He had about 2 seconds screen time in Return of the Jedi, but this is a great figure. So EPHANT Man, or 2002, 2003 Saga Blue Card, Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Chief of Security. What a figure. Great figure. Looks really great. Heavy figure as well. So try to track this one down. Any version of this figure is going to be great. Even if you get the regular version, you're going to love this figure, just because it's so heavy, and you know you feel you're not getting ripped off with this figure because it weighs so much. So EPHANT Man. I'm going to take some photos. I thought my camera would have run out by now, the memory card, but it's still going, so I'm going to take some pictures, and then that's it. That's the end of this fantastic haul. Let's take some pictures. Okay. one more look at this great figure. So EPHANT man, shouldn't be too hard to find. And there seems to be a lot of Saga Attack of the Clones prototypes around, and you can get them not too expensive in the UK. And there's a lot of stuff in China, but I've never bought from China, so I don't know. But this is EPHANT man. You just look at the detail in the face. What a great figure. Substantial weight to this figure. It's either him or Hermiodor that are they're going to be the biggest vintage modern Star Wars figure, or Star Wars figure of all time. So, you know, that is sold carded, that is. Or maybe what's his name from the Clone Wars? That what's his name? You know, the one that was available at Toys R Us, sort of tall robot character or cyborg.